All right, just go up tonight. If you're interested in double checking your work on those, just go ahead and do that. But I'm going to go ahead and start with 18 and work my way down. All right, that way there's many answers as possible. All right. It says the total price of a bag of peaches varies directly with the cost. If 3 pounds of peaches cost $3.60, how much would 5.5 pounds cost? Now, again, this particular case, I want to try to show you not something different, but are they really asking you to write the constant or find the equation? No. Yes or no? Right? So this is like a really, last year when you learned proportions, this is basically what that is. All right? So if you can buy what? 3 pounds. If you can buy 3 pounds for $3.60, you want to know how much you can buy with what? 5.5 over x. Does everybody see that? And now it's just a matter of cross multiplying and dividing, right? So you would say 3x is equal to 5.5 times 3.6. And so x is equal to 5.5 times 3.6 divided by 3. All right? So that would be somewhere, I think, like 660. Is that right?
Yeah, 660.
660? All right. Is everybody comfortable with that? Yeah. Any questions or concerns? All right, that's pretty easy. I agree. All right. Next, it says a carpenter can build 8 cabinets in 3 hours. At this rate, how long will it take him to build 26 cabinets? Same exact principle. If I can do 8 cabinets in 3 hours, if I have 26 cabinets, I can predict about how many hours it's going to take me. Is everybody with me on this? That's not bad. All right. What?
We are always allowed to use calculators on tests, right?
Yes. Use your calculator. All right. Now when we cross multiply, 8x equals 26 times 3. So x is equal to 26 times 3 divided by 8. What does that come out to be? 9 point what? Is that right? 9.75? So 9 hours, 3/4 of an hour is what? Yes, sir. What?
For the bottom half of the 8 part, what is that? Let's say 3 and E. Oh, that's HR hours. Sorry, I'm lying.
That's all right. That's my fault. I'm trying to write with this. So it's 8 cabinets in 3 hours.
Okay.
Okay, 20. Very important. Find the value of r, so the slope is -1/2. So we're going to calculate the slope first, right? So the slope would be r minus 2 over 3 plus 5 equals -1/2. Anybody have issues with that? Any issues at all? Okay. Now what's 3 plus 5? 8. So I'm going to replace this right here with an 8. And now we're just cross multiplying. So I have 2 times r minus 2 equals -8. Instead of distributing, I can do what? Divide by 2. R minus 2 equals -4. So r equals -2. All right. You with me? Any questions? All right, let's continue on. The distance d in miles that a car travels in t hours at a rate of 58 miles per hour is given by, which makes sense, right? Let's review this formula to make sure everybody's okay. It's always distance equals rate times time. Does that make sense, right, guys? All right. So that's why the equation is distance equals 58t. What is the best estimate for how far a car can travel in 7 hours? So your distance is equal to just what? 58 times 7. Everybody okay with that? So your distance traveled, 350 plus 56, 406 miles. Everybody feeling pretty good about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not that hard.
Will we be needing our calculators for the test tomorrow?
You guys keep asking me things about the test, and every single time the review is just like the what?
Test. Okay. I was just wondering if you would-
Exactly. He asked me a few minutes ago if we can use a calculator. Am I saying no calculators? Don't use calculators. No, I want you to what? I want you to use your calculators.
Well, I was just wondering.
Come on, stay with me. Right? Nothing changes. Nothing changes. If you're not allowed to use your calculator, I'll say what? No calculators. All right? I want you to use your calculators. All right? The calculator's expensive. You have to what? Use it. That's why we have it. All right? Now, find the slopes. Let's practice finding the slope. All right, so I want to find 2 points. It looks like this point right here is good. And I see this point right here. Is everybody with me on that? So now to find the slope, and we're going to do a rise over run. Delta y. What is delta y? What's delta y? I think it's 5, right? I think it's 5. Because I'm going up, first of all. If I go up, it's what? Positive, right? And then delta x is what? Delta x is what? 2. Because I'm going to the right. Make sure you guys got that. And so my slope is delta y over delta x, which is 5 over 2. Yes, sir.
How do you get the point? How do you find the point that you're starting from?
Okay, so look right here. Would I choose this point right here? No, because I don't know what that is. It's -1, 1 point something. I'm not choosing this point right here, right?
Oh, you want one that lines up.
You have to have one that's exactly on the line.
Okay, thank you.
Right? Makes sense, correct?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's carry on. All right, so now we get another practice problem, 23. The first one that sticks out in my mind is this guy right there. And I see another one right there. Do you have to pick my two?
No.
You can pick whatever two you want. Now, in this case, we're going still left to right. So I'm going delta y is what? -2. Delta x is 1, right? So delta y over delta x is equal to -2 over 1, which is -2. Everybody good with that?
Yeah, can you do it for a second? I'm writing it down.
Oh, so it doesn't matter because you get the same answer in the end.
Very good. Very good. Doesn't matter what 2 points you choose. All right? You'll always get -2. Doesn't matter what 2 answers. You'll always get -2. All right. Let's go on. Okay, now this is a nice problem. What's the slope of the line containing those 2 points? So, again, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Don't let them confuse you just because they put some letters there. 4b minus b over, -a plus a. 3b over 0. Undefined. Thank you very much. That was nice. Undefined. Everybody happy with that explanation? All right, here we go. It said in 2004, right, school lunch was $2.20. So in my opinion, I would put 2004, it was $2.20. It's like an ordered pair. And then in 2009, it was what? $3.25, right? Rate of change. What is rate of change? What does that mean?
It's the change between the two numbers over the original. Or is it?
You're thinking about percent.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say the percent.
No. Rate of change is what? I did a very bad job this week. If you can't tell me.
It's one of
Rate of change is what? Say it. No, I don't want the answer. I want you to tell me what it means. It's the same as slope. Okay, so I don't feel so bad. All right, I got one person. All right, rate of change means slope. All right, it's not the percent of increase or the percent of decrease. Rate of change is a slope. So you have to calculate the slope. All right, so now we're going to do slope is equal to 3.25 minus 2.2 over, I'm just going to put 5. Right? Because 2009 minus 2004 is 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now 325 minus 220, what's that? $1.05 divided by 5 would give me what? Good job, guys. 0.21. So that means that it increased what?
21 cents or 2.
Yay, very smart. 21 cents per what? Year. That's what the rate is. That's what the rate is. All right, yes, sir.
So you always divide by 5?
No, you don't always divide by
No,
5.
it's-
I divided by 5 because 2009 minus 2004. I was just being lazy there. Right? Because I could just look at that and say it was what? 5. Right? Again, it's delta y over delta x.
I got a star, so
All right.
I must go back.
Yes, very important. All right, write a direct variation equation. So I have to write the equation. So I have to write y equals kx. Well, what did we say k was again? K is y over x. So in this case, our constant is what? Negative 30 divided by negative 5, which is? So our equation is y equals 6x. So now I'm trying to find y when x is negative 3. So y would be what? Good job, because 6 times negative 3 is negative 18. Good job, guys. That was it. That's the answer here. All right, negative 18. All right, so your equation is y equals 6x, and your solution that they want is negative 18. Everybody agreeing with you? Come on, that's not that hard, right? All right, let's continue on. The cab fare varies directly with the number of miles. Write and graph an equation that relates the cab fare y to x. So if it varies directly, what's the constant going to be, guys? Yes, say it louder. Yes, the constant is always y over x. So who could tell me real quick, just by looking at it, what's y divided by x? How did you know that so fast?
Because when x is 1,
Exactly.
1.25.
So k is what? 1.25. Everybody agree with that?
Yes.
So the equation is y equals 1.25x. Everybody happy with that?
Yes.
Right. Now listen, I'm not going to make you graph it, so you can just kind of white out that graphing part of that. All right. You don't have to graph that. All right, because I didn't put a graph in, and I don't want you to. All right. So write an equation that relates. Does anybody have any issues with that now? All right. So here we go. Let's talk about the using a table. All right. So do you remember what I said about this? Using a table. Make an x and y. What numbers are we going to use? Negative 1, 0, and 1. So now if I plug negative 1 in for x, it would be y equals 2 times negative 1 minus 4. So y would equal negative 6, right? Now 0 is usually mental math, right? You plug 0 in. What's 2 times 0?
0.
Minus 4.
Or negative 4.
Negative 4. Now usually there's patterns on these if they're lines. So what am I doing each time? I'm increasing by 2. So what's the answer to the next one?
Negative 2.
Now how did I know I'm increasing by 2? Because guess what, guys? That is the slope. All right? There's lots of connections you're going to have to make. Now let's graph those points. Negative 1, negative 6. 0, negative 4. And 1, negative 2. Beautiful work. Anybody have any questions? All right. Now the next one's kind of annoying because you got to put it in y equals. Does everybody agree? So I have, let's watch that, 4y plus 12x equals 4. 4y equals negative 12x plus 4. Y equals negative 3x plus 1. Does everybody see that? Moving the x, dividing by 4. All right? So now we have to make a table. What numbers are we going to use?
Negative 1.
That's right. Negative 1, 0, and 1. So if I plug negative 1 in, what do I get?
4.
4. Very good. Does everybody get that? If I plug 0 in, what do I get? 1. So if I plug 1 in, what do I get?
2. No, negative 2.
Negative 2. Following our pattern, down 3. All right, so here we go. Negative 1, 4. 0, 1. 1, negative 2. And now we're going to draw the graph. So we agree, pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going. All right, now one more. I just did this one because I wanted you to realize what coordinates are we going to put in. What are x? What are the values for x? No.
Oh, we have to do the 3.
What was it?
3, negative 3, 0, and 3.
Negative 3, 0, and 3. All right. So if I plug negative 3 in, let's talk about it. Y equals 2/3 times negative 3 minus 4. Does everybody see how that is negative 6?
Yeah.
2 times negative 3 is what? 2 times negative 3
Negative 6.
divided by 3
2.
minus 4.
Negative 6.
There you go. Does everybody see that now?
Yes.
All right. Now when I plug 0 in, I get what? So my pattern, the next one would be
Negative 2.
negative 2. So here we go. Negative 3, negative 6.
Yeah.
What?
It isn't showing up on the board.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Now, do I need to explain that again, or is everybody good?
Could you explain it one more time?
What am I explaining?
How
You're not sure how to multiply 2/3 times negative 3?
No, how you got 3.
Because I'm dividing by 3, remember? So I pick a number that's divisible by 3. Does that make sense?
Yes, now it's
Right. So is everybody okay with that? Being negative 3, negative 6, 0, negative 4, and 3, negative 2. Right? Okay, now let's plot those points. 0, negative 4, and 3, negative 2. And of course, as usual, they all line up in a perfect line. All right, everybody happy with that? All right, now I'm doing the SAT type questions. So
goodness.
here we go. Let's have some fun. All right, please pay attention. These are the hard ones. All right. Now, first of all, my equation is, I want everybody to write down y equals 3/2 x plus b. Does everybody got that? Look up, please. Everybody see that, right? Now here, it's telling you that 6, 7 is on the graph. Does everybody see that? I'm missing what? I'm missing B. Is everybody with me?
Yes.
So to figure out what B is, I plug 6 and 7 in for X and Y. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So now I'm going to plug 7 in for Y, and I'm going to plug 6 in for what?
X.
X. So here we go. So 7 equals 3/2 times 6 plus B. Well, somebody tell me what 3/2 times 6 is.
18 half.
Which is 9. So 7 equals 9 plus B. So B equals what? So B equals -2. Everybody with me? So now my equation is y equals 3/2 x what? -2. How do I know it's -2? Because we just figured out what B is. Right? So now, last step, I have to plug -2 in for x. All right? So here we go. Y equals 3/2 times -2 minus 2. And so, what does that come out to be? What is that? -5. Very good.
Oh, I did it
Right? Because y equals -3 minus 2, which is -5. All right? Of course they are.
wrong.
All right, that was kind of tricky, guys. Don't worry about it. Those are the thinking questions. Remember, those are things I'm putting in there to help you with your standardized test. That's all. Don't be afraid of them. Just try them. If you can't get it, it's okay. They're harder. This is a high school question. All right, you guys are smart enough to do that. You're practicing. All right, what?
When you found out the x and y 6 and 7.
I plugged that into the equation to figure out what B is.
Yeah, I know, but like, how did you get 6 and 7? Did you just look at
That's what this means up here, remember?
Oh,
The x is 6 and the y is 7. That's what that means. All right? Now for 32, what does that mean to do? Plug -3x in for what? X. So here we go. If I do that, -2 times -3x plus 5. So everybody with me on that? So I have what? 6x plus 5.
So this one is kind of just simplified.
That one was much nicer.
All right, here we go. 33. A partially filled pool contains 600 gallons of water. A hose is turned on, and the water flows out into the pool at a rate of 8 gallons per minute. How many gallons of water will be in the pool after 70 minutes?
Oh.
You can tell me that. How much? I wish I could say you're correct. 1160.
Oh, you have to add the 8.
Yay. So you were right. You with me, Pam? You just got to make sure you add in the 600. So again, guys, here we go. Listen, it's 8 gallons per minute for 70 minutes means you just added what? 560. So that's what the average kid would put, right? So then we do what? 600 was already in there.
Yes.
So everybody agree? So if
Yes.
you have 600 in there, you just added 560, you'd get 1160 what? Gallons.
Yes.
All right? Now, 34. How do I solve a fraction? Multiply by the reciprocal. So I have 3/5 x equals 4/3. Multiply by the reciprocal, 5/3 times 5/3. These guys cancel. So x is equal to 20/9.
Oh, you multiply.
Everybody with me on this?
Yes.
Everybody happy?
Yes.
All right, let's try the next one.
Have Nate answer it.
So now, Nate walks 24 or 25 meters in 13.7 seconds. All right, so he can do 25 meters in 13.7 seconds. All right, he can walk for what? 4 minutes. What's the problem?
6 minutes.
Right, so I got to convert 4 minutes to what? 240 seconds. Good job, guys. And then take out your handy dandy calculator. Cross multiply, divide for me. So I'm telling you that it's going to be what? 400 and what? About 437 meters. Okay. So 438 meters. Is everybody okay with that? Everybody good? That wasn't hard. All right, here we go. The slope. So I went, let me get a different color so I can see it better. So I went up, and then I went what?
To the right.
To the right. So delta y, somebody tell me how much did I go up? 4. And what's delta x?
5. So it's the B.
So b, 4/5. Everybody okay with that? 35 we said was 438 about. You agree? All right, here we go. 37. So I found the 2 points. I'm going to do my delta y. Delta y, be careful, is -3, right?
And then
Delta x is 1. So my slope is, all right, guys, I'm feeling good about you. All right, here we go. I want the slope to be -5. So here we go. R minus 2 over -8 plus 7 equals -5. You okay with that? So R minus 2 over -1 equals -5, right? So R minus 2 equals 5. So R must have been what? 7.
oh yes, we should do 5.
Right? Everybody good with that? All right. I'm going to shrink it down a little bit so we can do the next one real quick. All right. Let's do the next one. So this would, if we want the slope to be 0, we want the slope to be 0, right? It's got to be 0 over something, correct? So the y needs to be the same. So what does y have to be? Wow.
Not showing up again.
It's not showing up again? Oh, I haven't written anything.
Oh.
All right. So this one, I think, guys, I think there's a mistake on this one. Actually, I know there is.
Is it maybe that x is it x that needs to be?
No, because remember now, in order for something to be 0, y minus y over x minus x has to equal 0.
Yes.
The only way a fraction can be 0 is if the numerator is 0. So the y's have to be the same. So I apologize for that again, guys. I don't know why. But let's do this. Here we go. Let me show you how to correct it. Just just wipe that out.
Put
Right.
one answer so you know that you're right.
Yes, and then put the answer, which we just said was what? R has to be -3. R has to be -3.
Or what would it be here? Just put a box
Is
around.
everybody okay with that?
Yes.
All right, R equals
Last
-3.
question.
All right,
We get out of here in 2 minutes.
here we go. It says a daily newspaper had 12,125 subscribers when it began publication. 5 years later, it had 10,100. What is the average? Now, is it going up or is it going down?
Going down.
So we know it can't be what?
It can't be 400 or
B or D, right? So we went from 12,125 to 10,000 100. All right? And then that was in a what? 5-year period. So we subtract that.
It's 2025.
That would be 2025
Yeah.
over a what?
5.
5-year period. So that would be what? 405. Now, the question is, listen carefully. Were you increasing or were you decreasing?
Decreasing.
Decreasing. So we knew it had to be negative. All right? So the correct answer here has to be what?
Negative 405.
Yes. See, now, listen, guys. The other problems are where?
Up above and on your
Up
YouTube.
on the YouTube. All right? The bell's going to ring in a few minutes, so I just want to go ahead and close down. Now, again, I promise the tests will be very similar. Some of the questions were kind of tricky. All right? Please review. That's all you have to do. Review. And if you want to bring your calculator tomorrow, guys, let's bring your calculator.
I always have my calculator.
All right?
So, okay.